What's up, you guys? Today I bring part 2 of the things that millennials have supposedly ruined according to older generations, and I am pretty much explaining why, saying this stuff is just mean and wrong, and you get the idea. The next thing that I was going to discuss, how, according to the older generation, we are killing restaurants. First of all, you should be proud of us that, as unlikely as it is for us to be people who can cook, given that, we have stuff like the microwave in which we can buy frozen food and just nuke it and eat that. A lot of junk food out there that you can get your hands into. Why aren't you happy and proud that we are opting for cooking at home and a majority of our choices are healthy ones? Anytime I'm out in public and I see the transactions of folks who are around my age, they seem to be doing super well. I see plenty of veggies, I see some fish, and some of my friends have told me that they're like, oh yeah, we buy some scallops or something and we cook that, or tilapia, which I'm not a fan of, but at least people are trying to be healthier. Why are you mad? Because you're not making the money? How far does your greed have to go as a restaurant owner? I understand that's how you're making your bread and whatnot, but be proud of us. We don't have many courses in school that teach us how to cook. It's either your family teaches you or you specifically take a course in school that teaches you. I didn't have enough room in my schedule when I was in school to elect a culinary class, and now I wish I had. Just be happy that we are taking our own health into our own hands and we're feeding ourselves, and we're trying to do this at home and obtain the skills that school doesn't give us to maintain a family. Because whenever you have kids, you won't be able to feed them junk all the time from restaurants. Not only that, people's diets vary. They have to take care of themselves. If you don't offer, say, gluten-free stuff, you cannot expect for people to eat at your restaurant. If you do not have a station to where you don't handle eggs or shellfish or wheat products in your restaurant, then you cannot expect for people who are allergic to those things to go to your restaurant. If you pay attention, the number of incidents in which people have those allergies keeps increasing. You cannot expect for young people to opt for going out to eat if you don't accommodate them. I am an advocate for people who are smart about not giving their hard-earned money to someone else. We need our savings. We need our money. Why would I give $10 to a restaurant that's going to feed me once when with $10 I can fix multiple meals for the value of just one that the restaurant is charging me for? Because the restaurant is also charging me for the person who's making it, the person who's bringing it to me, the manager, the labor, and on top of that, restaurants also want a tip. Don't give me a server then. Do like fast food restaurants. Let me get up and get my tray with food. I know that you have to bring it out from the back, like the chef hands you the tray or whatever, but bring it out to like the bar area or something, and then I pick up my tray and I choose my table. And that way these people have an opportunity to go get a job where they can be paid properly. Because I also learned that waiters, of course, don't have a set wage, and none of them want to confront their managers about the difference that is not being made up for them to have at least a minimum wage. Who wants to go up to the manager and be like, so we didn't make our money from tips, so will you make up the difference? No, because they want to find someone who is willing to not get paid and not confront the manager. Because, I would feel very uncomfortable trying to have that conversation about, hey, where's my money that you need to make up for? So I think it's good that we are not going to those places and supporting that kind of instability. Like, I couldn't do it. But then again, that's just my crazy opinion. I may be doing more harm than good, but that's what I think. I also don't need the experience of being at a sit-in restaurant. If you're talking about dates, I don't know about you, but for me, having fun in my own kitchen and fixing something for my significant other based on their taste, what they prefer, and everything, and also them getting to try the way I fix things, that's more romantic than having someone just bring stuff to you. Like, take care of your girl, take care of your man. Shoot, I would do anything to be able to regularly cook with my boyfriend. I think I should do that. Next time he tries to take me out to eat, I'ma see if I can get him to cook something with me.
Or for me. Or I cook something for him.
And also, something that I read about was how we're not buying paper napkins. What's that fuss about? You know what I do? Any extra napkins, like sometimes I go to like a fast food restaurant and I grab a few and I may have like 1, 2, or 3 sheets left over. I accumulate those and I bring them with me. I don't get why you need to have paper napkins on top of the roll of paper towels that you get. That's an excess of paper. I do understand the people who use paper towels and it's multi-use. You know, they turn that into their napkins, they turn that into the thing to wipe their countertops with. I see no problem with it. So I don't know why you guys are like, this paper was folded and cut and designed this way for you to wipe your face with. This other one was designed and shaped, has imprinted patterns in it to wipe something. Paper is paper everywhere you go. I do agree that computer paper is good for printing stuff. College ruled paper is great for taking notes. So I'm not going to argue there because, God, every time I try to take notes with a paper napkin, it's a disaster unless I have a marker. Someone came up with the idea of paper towels and the idea of napkins. They're making their money. So if that business is going down, it's because you need to maybe evolve your idea. What's so special about your paper this day and age? So for me, it's ridiculous that we're having that argument about millennials killing the napkins. I'm glad. We need those trees to remain planted on the ground. Whatever, just do away with those. Also, another thing that I saw that people were accusing us of killing is the hardware store. How it's possible that in the future that industry is going to struggle. Places like Lowe's and Home Depot. Where is the money, once again, for us to have a house? And thus, where is the money for us to have hardware in our house? Because that brings me back to the note that I made on my first part about we don't buy houses because they're expensive. There's the price of interest and all that you have to consider on top of just the whole transaction, the house price on its own. So imagine if you do not have the fortune of buying a brand new house. Let's assume that you have to make repairs to the home that you're purchasing because it's been used or it's been existing for like 100 years. Those expenses, repair expenses on top of your loan, on top of the interest from the loan, on top of, say, if you happen to need a vehicle, and if your vehicle needs repairs, and if you buy a new vehicle, the loan plus the interest of that is a lot of money. And remember, that's not the kind of money that we are making. We are losing more money than we are making. So that's why some people need to be responsible to not get involved in such a debt. That's where we are at right now. The movie theater. I don't know what the fuss is about. Once again, it's an industry that evolved. The way we watch movies, TV, it evolved because of computers and the internet and cell phones and whatnot. So if the movie theater disappears, then oh well, it disappears. People maybe like to not drive somewhere, or they like the comfort of their home on a stormy night. They also like to be able to bring their own snacks or eat their own meals at the theater for a more affordable price, because what? You gotta pay $8 for like a small bag of popcorn or medium bag of popcorn, whatever, and then $11 for a movie ticket that you only see once. God forbid if you have a nervous bladder and you have to go to the restroom and miss a few precious minutes for what you paid $11 for. No thanks. I would rather stay at home, pay the flat fee to invite as many people as I want to, invite my date, invite my friends and everything. It being affordable. I can feed all of them. We can all watch the movie. I just don't agree with the prices of movie theaters. And yes, maybe the movie theater is expensive as a result of people not going there that often. It was getting ridiculous anyway. If we have the option of being comfortable at home and not being driving unnecessarily, because let's face it, that's just entertainment. I just don't see myself being like, hey, I really need to go to the movies tonight. The only reason I go is because I go on a date with my boyfriend. He likes that stuff. But if it were up to me, if I want to see a movie, I get it for me to watch at home. Movie theaters are cool when you're a kid for the experience, but this day and age as an adult, and it's cool that I can pause the movie and maybe resume it if something else comes up while I'm watching the movie. Stuff happens. Relationships, another thing that we're being accused of ruining. Well, let me tell you about relationships. If you pay attention to, you don't even need to look up statistics, just ask young people. Most of us come from broken homes. Broken homes mean that our legacy is broken as well. It means that we are more likely to be living in poverty because the single parent had to take care of us and they no longer counted on the support that was supposed to be granted by the spouse. So in my case, I come from a broken home. My mother's career did not generate that much revenue, which is fine. You know, she worked doing what she loved and I lived comfortably. I was never hungry. I never not had clothes to wear. I never suffered from anything. I never lacked anything for me to survive. So I don't want to say that I was poor like that. My legacy, I don't have anything from my parents. If my parents were to pass, I don't have anything to inherit from them. What does that have to do with relationships? Well, if you have grown up with a single parent, what example do you have as to what a strong relationship is? You don't have a reference. And my mother was the kind who did not want to settle for someone who didn't make her happy or someone who was too different for her. And she did it so that we didn't have to suffer. I wouldn't have liked for her to get in a relationship with someone who was going to do more harm than good. It's no one's fault that we come from broken homes. Like, it's not our fault. And it's not our fault that we also do not get examples on, strong relationships nowadays. Our parents may have had their challenges with their relationships as a result of the challenges that we experience. Because sometimes some couples' fights have to do with money. Maybe if stuff wasn't expensive like that, fights wouldn't happen like that. I'm not saying that money is the reason couples break up. There's a bunch of other factors, but I'm just saying that it's possible that life got so difficult that, for instance, my mother had to spend a lot of time working so she could maintain us. Just what kind of example do we have as to how to do relationships and how to date or whatever? I never had a solid paternal figure in my life. So what do I know? I have to learn about how to be in a relationship from being in a relationship, committing mistakes and learning from that. It's not like I have a manual and a guide that I can consult and be like, yeah, this is exactly the man you are going to meet and this is how you have to please him and whatnot. I don't know. Experience teaches me that. So remember that if we aren't dating like dating used to be back then, it's because our times are different and we have to adapt to it. If adapting to it means dating less, well... Alright guys, so I'm going to cut this video right here and I have a few more points that I want to address. So I have a part 3 coming out and it'll be significantly shorter than this one. I should be back soon enough. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, thank you so much for tuning in and I will see you soon. Bye!